Hi everyone! So we are here to share some of the awesome books that we read during the month of May. We're filming this a little bit early because we're going to be off to New York soon, so we still have time to get some more reading done.
That's right.
But for now, let's jump into a few of the books that we've already enjoyed. Yeah!
The first book on my list is Short and Skinny by Mark Tattuli. This is the author's graphic memoir of his time in middle school over the summer of 1977 when he is this short, skinny kid who just like desperately wants to be a big, brawny guy like the other kids in his class. So part of this book is all about how he like mails away to all of the ads in the back of the comic books that he loves, all the like get ripped quick kind of stuff, and then they obviously are all scams. But he tries so hard to just like put on some muscle mass. But then, surprise, surprise, Star Wars comes out, the very first one in 1977, and it's like just lightning burst in his head, and he decides that he's going to write a parody and make his own Star Wars movie, and he enlists all of his friends and family, and he builds the sets, and he writes this funny parody script. It was so fantastic. I read it in one sitting. I laughed the whole way through. I thought of our amazing customer service rep, Crystal, the whole time because she is a huge movie buff, especially Star Wars. I can't recommend it enough. It was so, so funny. I read this one this month because it's going to be part of the middle grade buzz panel at Book Expo, so I wanted to make sure that I'd read at least a few of those, and it did not disappoint.
So one of the first books I absolutely fell in love with this month was The Song of Achilles by Madeline Miller. Now this is a book that people have been telling me to read for probably years, and I can absolutely see why. I finished this book a couple weeks ago and I'm still thinking about it and really want to reread it. So this is the stories of Patroclus, who is an exiled prince, and he is sent to live in the kingdom where the Prince Achilles lives, and they are kind of assigned to be friends almost. Achilles kind of takes him under his wing as very young boys, and they're kind of bonded from a very young age. They go through their entire lives together as friends and as lovers, and the story is just so beautiful. Patroclus ends up following Achilles to the Trojan War, and a lot of this book is set in the camps of the Trojan War. The storytelling is phenomenal. I cannot sing the praises of this book enough. I think I originally gave it 4.5 stars, but I've definitely upped it to 5 in my mind now. If you haven't read this book yet, I definitely think you should.
The next one on my list is also in the middle grade buzz panel coming up in New York, and that is Sanity and Tallulah by Molly Brooks. This is a sci-fi middle grade graphic novel that takes place on a space station. Best friends, Sanity and Tallulah. Sanity is an aspiring scientist, and more than aspiring. She already knows what she's doing. And Tallulah is the daughter of the head scientist on the ship. So the two of them get into all kinds of trouble, including inventing a three-headed kitten. And then some things start to go wrong on the ship and no one can figure out why. And they, of course, take it upon themselves to solve it. I loved it. I loved it so much. It's super diverse. It's really funny. It's sci-fi and full of adventure without being scary. Yeah, definitely pick this one up.
So next up, I have the third book in this amazing sci-fi trilogy, and that is Binti, The Night Masquerade by Nnedi Okorafor. Now, I can't tell you too much about this one, as it is the third book in the trilogy, but the first book follows our titular character Binti as she leaves her people for the first time ever and becomes the first of her people to attend the galaxy's best university called Umza University. Now, at the very beginning of that first novella, the ship that she's on is kind of invaded by an alien race, and everybody on the ship is killed except for her, and the story kind of goes from there. It is an absolutely incredible series. It's so short. In total, the whole series is probably under 500 pages long. And again, if you're not into sci-fi, I think this is a really accessible place to start. And because the books are so short, you fly through them and you just kind of fall in love super quickly with this world and these characters.
And the last one I'm going to talk about today is City of Ghosts by Victoria Schwab. Now, as you all know by this point, I'm sure, we are huge fans of Victoria Schwab in the office, but I had not read any of her middle grade before. So I was thrilled to have something to share with you guys in the middle grade department. So this is all about a girl named Cassidy Blake, who, before we met her, had an accident where she drowned in a river, but was rescued, and ever since then, she has been able to cross between the land of the living and the ghost world through the veil. And not only that, but she has a best friend ever since she was saved from the river, who happens to be a ghost. So that's already her reality, but her parents are paranormal specialists. So they announced at the beginning of summer holiday that they are going to start a brand new ghost show and that they're going to spend the entire summer in Edinburgh, Scotland. Now, Edinburgh just happens to be one of the most haunted places on earth. Lots of ghosts live in Scotland. I really enjoyed this one. I am learning one book at a time to like scary books, and this was just the right amount of scary for me. It's like spooky and atmospheric without being like straight up gory or like horror kind of scary, but definitely like keeps you on the edge of your seat. I love the characters as well. They're super likable, and you really just feel like you're along for the adventure with Cass and her friend Jacob. This one comes out at the end of August.
And then I have book 3 of The Trials of Apollo, The Burning Maze. Now this just came out, and if you're a Rick Riordan fan and haven't read this yet, go read it, because this book, Rick Riordan takes these characters places that I didn't think he ever would. In this series, Apollo is sent to Earth as punishment, and he's sent there as a mortal boy named Lester Papadopoulos. And with this mortality comes things like acne and being chubby and not being athletic, and of course not having any of his godly powers. So he is kind of set on these quests to find 5 different prophecies throughout the course of the series. This is prophecy number 3. I think this is my favorite book in this series so far. I wasn't convinced of Apollo as a character because I found him a little bit annoying, but I definitely fell in love with him in this book. And I need somebody to read this because I need to talk to somebody about it, and I don't know anybody who's read it yet, and things need to be talked about.
So those were just a few of the books that we read and enjoyed in May. I'm hoping to squeeze in one more before the official end of the month. I'm sure Cori is going to squeeze in another 10, 35, something like that. But we would love to hear what you've read this month, or if you've read any of the ones that we just talked about. So if you like this video, give it a big thumbs up and like for more videos every Wednesday and Saturday. Happy reading, and thanks for being awesome. Bye.